a lot faster. Welcome to University Baptist Church. It's so good to see you here tonight. Lord be with you. We're here for the final jazz Vespers of the spring season. And so I'm glad to have you here. Our Easter lilies are still out. We have candles and the cross to remind us of this sacred space and that season through which we have just come and entered. We've come through Lent and now are in the season of Easter. And this is a great time to just take a moment. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary." And so those of you who, for whatever reason, have come into this space with any weariness at all, tonight this is your place. What was this we just heard?
Lazy Bird.
Lazy Bird. That's what I wondered if that was Lazy Bird. That a nice theme, and I don't know, are you going to say more about Lazy Bird? Okay, I don't want to spoil it. But it's a great space to enter. We have Eric Franzen on the piano with us tonight. Glad to have you back. It's been so good to have you with us. Ben Eisenberg on the drums. Joseph Nichols on bass. And Gregg playing saxophone. Our Minister for Music and College Students, the Reverend Megan Sharp, will be singing, I believe. I have faith that she'll be singing in just a few moments or leading us in song. But for now, remember those words that we hear in the Gospel of Matthew, "Come to me, all you who are weary," and keep those in your heart as we enter into this time of enjoying this music, this sacred space, and the presence of God.
Say shortly that first song, "Lazy Bird" by John Coltrane, is based on the chord progression "Lady Bird," and it's funny because if anything, "Lady Bird" is the one that's a little lazier. It's a little slower. It grooves a little bit more. And what John Coltrane did is he found all these ways to make the music way more complex. And so some of the chord changes that he would do in songs like "Countdown" or "Giant Steps Later," he applied them to "Lady Bird." Called it "Lazy Bird." Again, it's anything but lazy. Reverend Megan Sharp will be coming up.
Wow. We are going to sing together. If you will take out your hymnal, we are going to sing hymn number 819. It is "Be Still My Soul," as we take this moment to kind of relax a little bit. We trust that God is taking care of us. This is to the tune of Finlandia by Sibelius. So you may, even if you've never sung this hymn, you may think, I kind of know that tune. And that is why. 819. And we'll sing the first 2 verses together. We'll let the band solo, and then we'll come back and sing verse 3.
Next song we're going to play for you is by Charlie Parker. It's called Relaxin' at Camarillo. Does anyone know what Camarillo is or where Camarillo is? It sounds like an exotic island, maybe. It sounds like maybe it's a place you would relax on vacation. This is a reference to Parker's stay in a mental health facility. He had been sent there to recuperate from alcohol and drug addiction after he was briefly jailed for setting fire to his Los Angeles hotel room bedsheets while drunk. And it was a different kind of relaxing, right? I think a lot of times when people think of Charlie Parker, they think of someone who died when he was very young, but this was a point in his life after rehab where he felt like he had a chance. He came out of it much brighter. He started recording a lot more. He was on the radio a lot more. He started a new band. So he had a lot of hope after that time where he was relaxing. He did not want to call it Relaxing at Camarillo. He thought it was sort of stealing something from him. He wanted to call it Past Due. The idea that this was past due, this was a long time coming and something that should have happened should have already happened. His record producer said it's not as cool as Relaxing at Camarillo, which is why they called it that. And as I was looking this up, it reminded me of a story. If you'll let me tell a story, can I tell a story? Has anyone ever seen the documentary Bird? Not documentary, the Clint Eastwood movie Bird? Anyone seen this movie? Came out in 1990. It won an Oscar for Best Sound. Forrest Whitaker plays Charlie Parker. It won an Oscar for sound because it's all of Charlie Parker's original recordings, but Forrest Whitaker is up there playing the saxophone, and it was, how well that was done. And I saw this movie, I was probably 13, and I went to my saxophone teacher, a guy named Calvin Cage, and I told him how cool the movie was. I was a saxophone player, he was a saxophone player, everyone should love this movie. And he told me he did not like the movie when he saw it. And when I asked him why, he said, it took every moment of Charlie Parker's life that was negative, every moment when he was at his lowest, and it put it on the screen. And it made him seem like his life was this horrible endeavor that he barely got through. And he's like, Charlie Parker's life was filled with joy like anyone else, and he wished the movie had shown that too. Made him seem like a complete person. And so Relaxing at Camarillo when he was at his brightest, made me think of that. So thanks for letting me tell that story. Here is Relaxing at Camarillo. This next song is called Antonio Carlos Jobim's Meditation, and I think about this in relaxing, making my mind stop focusing on all the world around me. I was talking to a student about this today. I'm very anxious about returning to school, and if I just keep thinking about that, I will not enjoy this time now. Spring break, by the way. Come on, spring break. I will not enjoy this time now and just sitting and thinking and focusing on what's really important to me. Here's Meditation.
This next one is called In Deepest Night, and it's a text by Susan Palo-Chirwan and music by David Schwabel, and it really speaks of how God feels our pain, and God is here with us to experience the things that we experience. I'm going to just sing it. If you want to look at the words, it's 785, because it's a really lovely text.
In
Next song we're going to play for you is called Take 5. You're going to hear more about Take 5 in a little bit, so I'm not going to go too much into detail. One of my thoughts was, this is the song that everyone wants to play when they're 11. Everyone's like, can we play Take 5? You know what I'm talking about? He laughed, he knows what I'm talking about. Song everyone always wants to play, and then when you really sit down and try to analyze it, the most interesting part of it is the time signature. It's the rhythm. I'm sure you'll hear more about this, but it was a challenge to write in different time signatures. The whole album was built around what different time signatures we can write our songs in, by Paul Desmond and Dave Brubaker. Brubaker. See, it's been a while. Brubaker, the famous Brubaker. See, when I don't read my notes, I just go like this. I think the other thing I want to say, and maybe you'll hear more about this, is that I think of this song as being very deceptively complicated. And you can see that from the recording. They spent a whole day trying to record this song. Did you see this part? Oh, man. They spent the whole day. I wasn't going to say that. Excellent. They spent the whole day trying to record this song, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't play in 5 for the entire song. Either the drummer messed up or the piano player messed up. And then they all went home and practiced it. They came back the next day or the next session and recorded it in 2 takes. Here's Take 5.
I don't know if that makes me an 11-year-old because
We don't play.
no, I don't want to play it. I have enough trouble counting to 4. I can't imagine counting to 5. But you guys did amazing. Joe Morello's got nothing on you, Ben. That was Ben Eisenberg on drums, keeping that 5/4 time for us. Go ahead. Sit. Yeah. Eric Franzen, who is keeping that song, all the glue, where are you, Eric? There you, okay. Great job. And Joseph, your solo, Joseph Nichols on that was fantastic. That was great. And Bobby, that was wonderful. I really appreciate you. Good, Bobby Gregg, everyone. Well, I'm going to say more, and I don't want them to forget to clap after I'm done. But you got to keep telling those stories. Keep telling the stories. Whenever you have one for a song that you think would speak to us, see, that's all our faith really is telling these stories. And that's what we did all through Holy Week and leading up to it in Lent and Easter, was repeating the stories that are near and dear to us. And stories are richest when they're meaningful to us and it's something that is spoken to us. And so when you tell these stories, you're sharing not only a piece of yourself, but the sincerity of that story. But in seminary, there are a lot of people who come into seminary and are big sports fans. And so in the class on preaching, homiletics, the professor usually says, look, every Sunday can't be 4th and goal. You know, your analogy cannot be a football 4th and goal every Sunday. And so that image came to my mind, and I thought there could be this, and I'm not saying there will be, but there could be this future down the line where Bobby has seen the light and is preaching in a church, but every Sunday is a Charlie Parker story, is a Dave Brubeck story. That's what your classroom is for. And that's what Jazz Vespers is for. You've got that outlet. This is really an exciting theme to me because there's so many things in the world right now that seem to suggest not taking 5, not taking a break, not giving ourselves that space to rest, to breathe, to just exist. And we have this verse in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, 28, when Jesus says, come to me, you who are weary. And it's a great invitation for those of us who are weary, who are carrying heavy burdens, to be able to come and just rest for that moment. And so when we were talking about, Megan and I were talking about this theme for tonight, and I was thinking post-Easter, I kind of thought take 5. And so I think I asked Bobby if take 5 was a thing we could do, assuming it was. I thought it was deceptively simple. I thought it was. My sense was this is a sound that everybody likes to hear, but is probably harder to execute. I didn't know that it took that they really had that much trouble. I did know that I started reading about the background because I thought, what were they thinking about this? And so I want to read a sentence to you, and it would be great to just pick it apart and see how incongruous it sounds today. In 1958, the U.S. State Department sponsored a Dave Brubeck Quartet tour to what was called at the time Eurasia. How many parts of that sentence would we not say today? Eurasia comes to mind first. We would recognize that in Europe and Asia there are all these cultures and different things, and lumping them together may not seem quite appropriate. But the first part of the sentence is equally unlikely. Today, having the State Department, the United States State Department, put on a goodwill tour of one of the American cultural artifacts to share with the world just seems so hard to believe, especially with recent news and politics and news last year and all the government cuts and the different things. It sort of blew my mind a little bit that there was a point in history when the U.S. State Department said, we want to share Dave Brubeck with the world. We want the world to see what's going on. So Brubeck, Paul Desmond, the sax player, Joe Benjamin, and Joe Morello had a very tight schedule. Over a period of just 3 months, they played 80 concerts in 14 countries, including Iran, Iraq, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. If those names seem familiar, it again seems so unlikely what happened then. But the thing was, and that's that tour as a good launch point isn't actually the point. What's interesting is as they traveled, they encountered what was to them new music, new sounds, new rhythms. And Brubeck had been playing with rhythms since the 1940s and was exploring, and as is the case with all, and I think present company included, phenomenal musicians, when they hear something new and interesting, they want to play with it. And so they started to play with these time signatures because these rhythms didn't fit the 4/4, 3/4 patterns that we use in most Western music. And so when Brubeck got home, they wanted to put it all together and be intentional and put it together in an album. The group started making a new album, but they did everything wrong. They did everything against the pattern at the time. First of all, it was standard practice that you'd play a few standards. Every new album had to include Stella by Starlight or Moondust or something. These were all original tunes. Another thing they did was they had some modern art. This was coming up on 1960 by the time they were finishing this album. And they had some modern art for the album cover. People didn't do that at the time. And then the creme de la creme was they were all in creative time signatures. Blue Rondo was 9/8. 3 to get ready goes 2 measures 4/4, 2 measures 3/4. Pick Up Sticks was in 6/4. And so they were putting this album together, and the record company wasn't having it. None of it worked, none of it was right, none of it was what fit the pattern. And so it wasn't until the company president intervened and said, nobody needs another cover of whatever the latest thing you want out of the American songbook or a Broadway show tune. This is cool what they're doing. And so they had the green light to finish the album. But at the last minute, Brubeck thought it needed one more song. And he specifically wanted something in 5/4. So that was the design parameter. Joe Morello had been playing a drum solo in 5/4, kind of to play the people out. And I didn't really get to the bottom of why he had that, other than he liked that groove. I think it was also so people couldn't clap along. They just got up and started moving. But he had this groove, and so Joe had been saying to Dave Brubeck, who was the primary composer of their band, can you write something to go on top of this? I said, all right, I don't have anything. And Paul Desmond, the sax player, said, I think I can come up with something. And so he came back with this melody that we all find so intoxicating. And together the band put the pieces in place, and because of its 5/4 time signature, they called it Take 5. But the idiom Take 5 predates Desmond's tune. Early 20th century mining companies had adopted it as the standard vernacular for taking a brief break and getting back to work. The getting back to work was the important part of taking 5. You could have a moment, but get back to it. It had also become known in the vaudeville and show tunes world as that lull between songs. They're going to take 5 for a minute while we move the stage around. And so that was a common expression as it continues to be today. I think it's a candy bar also. I didn't continue my research beyond that. But I think that Brubeck and the boys knew that it was about more than a time signature. Take 5 is this chance to rest. It's that familiar little bit. Take 5 strikes us as a song, or many of us, in the same way that we feel when we hear that familiar hymn. It's that smile, it's the phone coming out to record, it's that moment of recognition. Jesus knew about these things, and that's what I think he was talking about in Matthew 11, when he said, "Come to me, you who are weary. Come to me, you who have just, ministers, gotten through Holy Week. Even as rich and meaningful and wonderful as it is, come to me and take a break. Come to me, you kids who have been practicing for hours and hours to be able to get to play the Paul Desmond tune that you've been dying to play, and just rest for a moment. Because it's in that rest that we can find ourselves, we can find peace, we can find community, and we can find God. And we have to be able to do both. We have to be able to do the work, do the things that God calls us to do, but also take that moment to rest and to relax and to just lean in to those everlasting arms. Many of us in church struggle against that tension to take 5 because we're always trying to get to what's next. And I submit that we're not alone. I think that's that way in life. Most people have trouble with that. And so Jesus' words to come to me and rest seem to be a good post-Easter message, a good message for the end of this season of Jazz Vespers. And depending on the struggles that you're carrying with you today, that could be a good message for you. Amen. As the musicians are making their way up, I want to assure you Jazz Vespers will be back. As soon as we have the dates, we're going to be putting those together on a poster to be able to share and make sure we get the word out. But now we were going to sing a familiar song that Megan will introduce.
We're going to sing what most of us know as His Eye is on the Sparrow. It is 661. The particular hymnal we have uses the titles that are the first lines, so you'll see Why Should I Feel Discouraged, but you're on the right page. 661. We'll sing the first 2 verses together, we'll let the band solo, and then we'll come back and sing verse 3. One more time. One more time. Yeah. Thank you all so much for coming, for playing, for singing. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Amen.